All right, we're going to find this limit. The limit as theta approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine theta over the sine of 2 theta. All right, so here we see a double angle formula for sine, right? We see a rational function, okay? But there is two properties, right, of trig functions that we should know, right? The limit of theta approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine theta over theta. Okay? This is just equal to 0, right? Also, the limit as theta approaches 0 of sine of theta over theta, and this is just going to equal 1 here. Okay, so okay, I see a 1 minus cosine theta over here. I don't see this divided by theta though, right? And I see a sine of 2 theta, but you know, you're probably thinking, man, should I use a double angle formula, right? Well, what we want to do here is we want to sort of try to convert it to one of these. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do the 1 minus cosine theta, okay, and that's the numerator, right? And on the denominator we have the sine 2 theta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by 1 over theta here. And I'm going to multiply the denominator by 1 over theta. Okay? And this is legal, right? We can do this because, well, 1 over theta divided by 1 over theta is just equal to 1. Okay, but I'm doing the same thing to both the numerator and denominator here, right? So let's see what happens, okay? I guess technically I should still be writing this. Okay, if you don't do that, this is not a big deal, right? Just remember we're still taking the limit of this guy, right? Notice what we got here. We got 1 minus cosine theta over theta all over the sine of 2 theta over theta. And this is good, right? Because, hey, wait a minute, I know what that is. That's just equal to 0. But this is not good because we still end up with 0 over 0. Okay? So the key is this, right? This is a 2 theta right here. So we're going to do the same thing again. Okay? But we're going to multiply this by 1 over 2 theta divided by 1 over 2 theta here. And notice what happens, right? We get, well, we still got the limit as theta approaches 0. Okay, we still have 1 minus cosine theta over theta. Okay. That's good though, right? We actually know what this is, right? That's just equal to 0. But notice what happens here. We get sine of 2 theta over 2 theta. All of that divided by theta over 2 theta. Okay. And of course, based on the laws, right, we can take the limit of each one. But notice what happens here. This is the key, right? This cancels out, so we're just equal to 2, right? So this 2 actually just comes up here, because it's 2 times that. But what do we end up with here? Notice we have 0 over, and this limit is 0, this limit is 1, so 2 times 1 is just 2. And 0 in the numerator is fine though, right? So we actually just end up with 0 here. Okay? Now once again, once we go through the steps, we're going to multiply by 1 over theta times 1 over theta to both the numerator and denominator. Okay? And then we're going to have to multiply, in this case, by 1 over 2 theta times 1 over 2 theta, right? Remember, this quantity here, right? This quantity here, this is just equal to 1. And similarly, right, this quantity here, this is also just equal to 1. So that's legal, right? We can do this. But the whole point is we want to go sort of get it into this format so that we know, we get this into a limit that we know. Okay? And 0 in the numerator is fine. So yeah, in this case, our final answer will be 0.